Here we go. Ready? Oh, who's better than me? Yeah. Alright, what's up guys? Well, I'm trying to explain this to you guys and this to you guys, but you can't see any of it. Sorry. But this is what I want to show you guys. I don't know if you can see it, but it's the fretwork that goes across the top of the case and down the sides. And this fretwork is really pretty important. So, I'm just going to show you how I drew it and laid it out, alright? So let me move the camera down and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, now you can see that fretwork okay, right? Okay, let me check, make sure. Alright, perfect. This is the fretwork design, and how I laid it out was, first I broke it into 11 increments, but then we changed it, and it's 9 even increments. So I have a pair of dividers here, and it's set at 9 increments, okay? And I just went along all the way down the board, okay? And I marked my lines, and I don't even know if you'll be able to see it all laid out, but here it is. Yeah, see, it's just hard to see this stuff laid out. But anyways, this is the layout of it all. So I broke it into 9 even increments, which seems like pretty easy, but it probably took me close to 20 minutes to get these dividers to where I wanted them to be. And once they're split in half, you have to move it over again and split it again. You see what I mean? So, this is a really pretty cool design. What I did was, after I set it up into my, into my blocks, I set my bevel, and I drew these lines. Now these lines are, they were pretty tough to lay out as well, because of what happens is you don't want this miter on the inside of the angle to be outside the line of the border. Let me see if I have something. You see this one? See how it's outside the borderline? I made this pattern and it wasn't good enough because I was just messing around trying to figure it out. So I want this line to be on the inside, which means that the line on the inside on the upper part is different than the line on the bottom. You see how this one's hitting the corner of the line and this one is 1/8 of an inch away from the corner? So basically all I did was I set my divider to the point and 1/8 of an inch away from the point on the bottom. And I struck that line and then I just slid it forward until it hit this line's point over here. And then I flipped it over and I went all the way down the entire block and I drew all my X's, okay? And then after I did that, I took my another pair of dividers and I swung an arc until it hit those 2 points. This point and that point. And then I transferred it onto a just a piece of cardboard. You know, I probably could have done a better job with this. Oh, another important point is when you go to do this, this is the center of the board. And so you want to be a 1/16 on one side and a 1/16 on the other. So when this curve comes along, it goes into an 1/8 and not a 1/4. Because if I just swung them side by side, this would be twice as thick. And you want these lines to all be the same thickness. You can see this is a little thicker than that one, but when I go to carve it, it's going to be fine. So basically, I took this radius, I held it on the center line, and I made sure it was on this point line and that point line. Okay? And I just drew it. Then I took the smaller one, and I drew it on the inside of the smaller one. Now, a lot of times these things will get confusing. You can see how I have all these cross lines everywhere, and it gets really, really confusing. So after I drew this one, I drew that one, and it probably took me close to maybe half an hour to do all those lines, maybe an hour. So, now you can see that this is what the fret's going to look like. And it's a really cool design. And all I did was I removed this material with a Dremel as best I could, and now I'm just coming along with gouges and carving chisels, and I'm just trying to remove this material gingerly. Now, on the original, this was just all in the same plane, but I'm thinking about weaving all this. So if I weave it, it'll go somewhere like over, under, and I may do the whole pattern. I haven't decided yet. You can see that this is all rough right now, but don't worry about it because it's going to be dimpled with a little star bit. So I'm going to get a probably a hinge pin and just draw like a little star on it and then dimple all this material. So it'll really accentuate all the carving. That carving is not that deep. It's barely, 1/16, maybe 3/32, and it's going to be very pronounced on the top of this case. And it's going to be, I don't know, maybe 7 feet off the ground. So I'm really interested to see it finished, because after you do one block, it's all the same repetition. And the challenge is not to lose your patience and just get through it. I'm not a carver, so it takes me a long time to do this stuff, and I need to do the front and the two sides. So I hope that was helpful, and at the end of this whole thing, we'll give you a breakdown on the whole upper case. I tried to, but here, spin the camera around. Check it out. I had a whole plan laid out for you guys, but you can't see anything. So I could basically talk for a half an hour about what's on this wall, and none of you are going to see it. So whatever. That's it, man. That's doing fretwork for the next, hopefully, I'll have it done in 20 or so hours. See ya.